This image shows a positive example of properly equipped soccer officials. They have matching shirts, black shorts, black socks, black shoes, AR flags, a whistle, watches, badges, and scorecards. The book mentions equipment on page 19, and the proper equipment is more necessary for higher ages and skill levels. Not being properly equipped could make one seem unprofessional, allowing them to be more vulnerable for criticism. This image shows a negative example of retaining enjoyment while officiating because his lack of enjoyment is causing him to look unprofessional in the cold environment. This concept is discussed on pages 25 and 26 of the book. This concept affects careers by positivity and professionalism. People enjoy their job more when they do it positively, and they keep it longer when they do it professionally. This concept also applies to officiating. This image is a good example of nonverbal skills because the official is signaling what team is awarded the throw-in without speaking. Nonverbal communication is discussed on pages 64 through 66 in the book. This image is a negative example of staying calm because rather than calmly explaining the call to the coach, he decides to enforce punishment, which will only escalate the situation. Being calm and is discussed on page 75 of the book. These examples are different because one allows the game to run smoothly while the other impedes the game's progress. Nonverbal communication impacts careers by allowing communication between two people to be more effective and understanding. Staying calm helps with tension between coworkers and customers or clients. This also applies to officiating. This image is a good example of muscle relaxation because it eliminates the use of any muscle, giving it a period of recovery. This is discussed on page 89 of the book. This image is a negative example of avoiding arguments because the umpire is arguing back and therefore only making the situation worse. Avoiding arguments is discussed on page 101 of the book. The two concepts differ because one strictly affects the referee while the other affects the flow of the game. Relaxing helps a career because a career can be stressful, and relaxation calms and re-energizes for better performance. Avoiding arguments helps a career by allowing things to run smoother in the workplace or during conversations. This too applies to reffing. This image is a positive example of the Americans with Disabilities Act because it is showing a disabled man officiate a basketball game free from discrimination. The book discusses the ADA on pages 163 through 166. This image is a negative example of time management and showing up before game time because the person in this image did not manage their time and they are now running late. The book discusses time management on pages 171 through 172. The two concepts differ because one doesn't affect the flow of the game while the other does. The ADA affects careers by giving everyone an equal opportunity to work the job they please if they're hired. Time management affects careers because one must show up on time to keep their job at all. These concepts also apply to officiating.